What's going on? This is Axcella with TGN. In this video, I'm going to show you guys the updated Marks rotation for 4.3. Hasn't really changed all that much, but this is going to be the first of a series of videos that I'm going to do on raid rotations and raid DPS. So each video is going to have two parts. One like chilling in Stormwind in like controlled environment doing it, and then one in an actual raid setting. So I'm gonna start. The rotation for Marks is pretty much broken up into three parts, from 100 to 90, from 89 to 20, and 19 to 0. So I'll start with the first part, and then I'll explain each one a little more in depth, and then look at the glyphs and stuff. So the first part, you want to first apply. You want to apply Serpent Sting, and then use you basically spam aim shot until you have no focus, and then you double steady shot. You double steady shot always. You want to do them in pairs, so you proc the improved steady shot, which is basically 15% haste. So you want to always try to keep those in pairs. So just recap: apply Serpent Sting, aim shot till no focus or not enough focus, and then double steady shot. One last note about that piece of the rotation: if the boss has a lot of health, or it's like a long phase where he's between 100 and 90%, you might want to consider using one Cobra shot to refresh your Serpent Sting, so you're not wasting a global using Serpent Sting, and you're doing about the same amount of damage as steady shot. So just something, I don't know how many people do that. That's just something that I've noticed helps a little bit. So next section is from 89% to 20%, and that's pretty much your standard Marks rotation. It has two variations, and they're for different types of fights. The preferred version, as far as I'm concerned, is the one using Arcane Shot. So let me explain that. You'll have Serpent Sting already up from the beginning of the fight, and then you use Chimera Shot on cooldown. Once again, you double steadies, and then you dump your focus with Arcane Shot. Notice that I didn't dump it to 0 because I knew that I wasn't going to have enough focus the next time my Chimera Shot was on cooldown. So you don't want your Chimera Shot to be off cooldown and you're sitting here with, when you're sitting here with no focus. You want to get as many Chimera Shots off as possible. So yeah, basically recap on that. Your Serpent Sting will be up. You use Chimera Shot on cooldown. You double steady shot. You dump your focus with Arcane Shot, just enough so that, or as much as you can, but make sure you have enough focus for it to be for you to Chimera Shot as soon as it's off cooldown. Now, the variation on that is dumping your focus with aim shot, which is pretty much, I think most hunters have figured that, yeah, if you're dumping your focus with aim shot, you will do marginally more damage on one condition. You have to get all of the aim shots off, and that sometimes that doesn't, more often than that doesn't happen, because you'll be here, you'll be doing whatever, and you are I don't know, you're about to get hit by something, and you have to move to avoid it. You have to get out of fire, and as soon as you start breaking those aim shots, you've just lost a total 2 seconds of damage. It's not good at all. You want to avoid that. If for some reason there's a specific fight where you're just going to stand there and beat into the boss, maybe that's worth it. The other place where you want to look out for that, and you really want to know what your rotation is when you're glyphing, because this Glyph of Arcane Shot can be switched out with Glyph of Aim Shot depending on what kind of boss fights you're doing, or what kind of rotation you want to use. And the glyphs that I'm using now, some of them are interchangeable. The prime glyphs are pretty much all everybody uses those. Those are pretty much standard. The minor glyphs, the Glyph of Feign Death is important. Glyph of disengage is pretty important. You want to be able to move around as much as possible. Silencing shot is cool, kind of good for trash. You know, extra 10 focus every time you silence something and somebody doesn't get hit with, you know, whatever cast they were going to get hit with. So those are pretty much the glyphs, how they work. Now for the last portion, it's the 19 or 20% to dead portion of the rotation, and it's pretty much the same as the standard, you know, the main 89 to 20% portion, but with, you know, you're adding kill shot. Some people use kill shot as their like #1 priority ability, but I find that, or on most spreadsheets, or, you know, most people you talk to, they'll say you want to use Chimera Shot now, since Kill Shot isn't quite what it used to be 3 patches ago. You're pretty much going to do more damage using your Chimera Shots on cooldown. But yeah, Kill Shot is definitely second in should be second in your rotation. Also, when you get, I didn't get any, I'd have to beat on the boss for a little while here. Also, your instant aim shot procs, they should be right under Chimera Shot in Chimera Shot in your rotation. Those are very important. You want to get those off as soon as possible. You know, they do a lot of damage. It's an instant for a 3-second cast. Very cool. And just the last final note about cooldowns. A lot of people don't really pay attention to them, I think, but you want to get them. You want to get as many rotations of cooldowns off as humanly possible. And with marks, you have a lot of wiggle room because you have readiness. But basically, what I find is the best way to go about this is to use Call of the Wild and rapid fire and readiness right in the beginning of the fight, the first 10% phase, when you're doing your aim shots. Lots of very fast aim shots. If you know when heroism is going to be, save the next round of those for heroism, as long as heroism isn't going to stop you from doing like a whole set of them. They're 3-minute cooldowns. If you know heroism is 10 minutes away for some reason, make sure you use this twice in the fight. You definitely don't want to lose a set of cooldowns. Also, with readiness, a lot of times readiness is up again at the end of the fight. So what I like to do to maximize my damage is to use Kill Shot and use Chimera Shot and then use readiness and use them both again. If you do that, you know, you get that much more damage out because those are your 2 big instant damage cooldowns. So I think that's about it. One little note: if you're using, I just started getting together a raid set, and if you're using the 4-piece here, and you're like the no focus kill shot kill command thing procs, definitely want to use that. It's 100% worth it. Yep, I think that's it. So the next video will be me. I'll probably do a raid finder just to keep it simple, some kind of raid finder boss, and I'll try to demonstrate as much of this as possible and demonstrate what I do for trash, and then I'll go through the other 2 specs. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section, and thanks for watching.
This video is part of the Way movement. We are YouTube. To learn more, visit tgn.tv.